I'm especially on edge, and I think everyone is.
LSU students share their concerns about safety on campus after the abduction and sexual assault of a student.
LSU may have more reason for concern as high school seniors feel the effect of state budget cuts.
Meet the next wave of workers, Generation Z. We tell you who they are and how they will affect your business. Newsbeat starts now.
Still to come, LSU gymnastics senior looks back at her accomplishments as the team prepares for NCAA championship.
An LSU senior pitcher makes a tough decision for one more run at a national championship of the Tigers. All this and more after the break.
Coming up, Louisiana coastal land loss is in a state of emergency. Find out how the plan to prevent further erosion is developing and how much it will take the state to address the crisis.
In the event of a natural disaster, East Baton Rouge is ready. Find out what steps the city has taken for emergency preparedness and what more could be done.
And Louisiana budget cuts bring more uncertainty to LSU faculty retention. Find out how this is affecting the economic department. All of this and more. Newsbeat starts now.
Hi, I'm Philip Fletcher.
And I'm Johnston Von Springer.
Louisiana's receding coastlines affect the lives, safety, and welfare of its inhabitants. Committed to our coast was the opening statement of the Senate Select Committee on Coastal Restoration and Flood Control. $20 billion of the master plan has been secured for coastal restoration. Over $150 billion worth of products were considered as the master plan was developed. However, lack of state funding forces planners to look to experts to determine which products would best suit the state and its current needs. Louisiana needs more money for the master plan and faces hurdles for permitting and environmental review. Senator Hewitt provides a potential solution for planners attempting to lobby the federal government. The future of 2 million residents and thousands of businesses depends on how successful Louisiana is in rebuilding land and slowing down erosion.
As Louisiana legislators ask for funds to fight receding coastlines that increase the risk of flooding, East Baton Rouge Parish officials focus on emergency preparedness.
Louisiana's current year budget shortfall of $304 million is making it difficult to retain quality faculty and staff, LSU President King Alexander said. LSU has lost about 500 faculty positions in the past decade, including 27 assistant professors in 2015. It costs the school about $150,000 in outside support every time LSU loses a faculty member. Between 1997 and 2003, the LSU Department of Economics lost 9 full-time faculty members and have yet to make up for those losses. Building a solid academic program in this dynamic environment is challenging. LSU economics instructor Chris Combs said that has worked at the university since 2004 and has seen the negative effect of the faculty turnover. However, he remains hopeful for the future of the department. Schools like Kentucky and Florida State with comparable economic departments have an average number of full-time faculty in the mid-20s, while LSU hopes to be at 15 after some hiring.
As the state budget cuts threaten the loss of some LSU faculty and students, the university's new and improved recreation center hopes to not only retain students, but also improve their GPA. Impact of physical activity on student learning, University Recreation graduate Assistant Jessica Pellerin compared the GPAs of students who used the faculty facility to those who did not. The average GPA of recreation users was 2.12 of a point higher than non-users. It doesn't take a daily workout to boost one's GPA. Pellerin says students who use the UREC 2 or more times a week earn the highest GPA of a 3.2, a 0.13 increase over students who did not use the facility.
The biggest impact is the neurobiological compounds that go on when people work out. So, people get as they're getting the heart rate up, as they're getting moving, they have, all of these neurons that are firing off in their brain. So that may lead them to be, more conducive to pay attention, to ask questions, to be able to, retain the information more rather than someone that maybe just went and took a nap in between their 2 classes and didn't come work out instead.
To see the effect of the recent $84 million renovations on students' GPA, this study will take place again next fall.
Coming up in sports, LSU spring game leaves doubt in coaches and fans' minds about the starting quarterback position.
And find out how one former defensive end for the Tigers is making his mark off the field. We'll be right back.
It was a tumultuous 2016 for the Tigers, combining the mid-season firing of longtime coach Les Miles and breaking in new defensive scheme under first-year defensive coordinator Dave Aranda. In the spring game last Saturday, Tiger fans had a chance to see the offense with new offensive coordinator Matt Canada. Danny Etling was presumed starting quarterback after starting a majority of last season, but after a disappointing performance in the spring game, the QB position seems to be wide open. Plenty of practice repetitions will be up for grabs with Etling out for an unknown amount of time following a minor back surgery this week. From offense to defensive players, a career in professional sports is not certain. Former defensive end for the Tigers, Lewis Neal, wanted to make sure he was prepared for life off the field. Reporter McKenna Wilson has more.
Say hello to Generation Z. While many of them are still young, they will soon be entering the workforce in droves. Understanding this generation is crucial for companies wanting to succeed in the next decade. Born in 1995 or later, Gen Z has never known life without technology. Lance Porter, Director of Social Media Analysis at LSU, has been working with digital media since the generation was born.
The monumental changes in media, even in the last 10 years since the iPhone came around, media has completely changed because of that, because the iPhone and smartphones now allow us to access content when we want to have it. That's changed everything, including this generation.
Some digital platforms have already started to target advertising and content to this generation because they know that by 2020, they will account for 40% of all consumers. YouTube, for example, has captured the attention of adolescents and young adults, including 14-year-old Aaron Shea.
I can watch TV whenever I want. I don't have to fight anyone for the remote.
Platforms like YouTube are preferred by this generation because the content is free, mobile, provides a huge variety of content, and can be accessed at any time without parental supervision. While there is still much to be uncovered about Generation Z, companies will need to understand these key insights and start adjusting their marketing and advertising strategies now for the next generation.
Faith, come here.
Faith is a happy golden retriever that lives in a Metairie home with their owner, Kathleen Malone. But this was not always the case.
Poor thing, she's bow-legged, she hardly had any hair, she couldn't really hear or see.
Born in a puppy mill, Faith was kept in confinement and forced to have many litters. Seeing no hope for recovery, she was put on a list to be euthanized.
And I said, look, if I can give that animal love for 1 month, if she's really that sick, at least let her know love. You want a treat?
Faith eventually recovered in Kathleen's care.
Finally ready that she could be adopted. I couldn't go through with it. I thought we had been through too much.
Faith is one of hundreds of retrievers that have been adopted through the Gulf South Golden Retriever Rescue Program every year. The program accepts owner-relinquished retrievers and Goldens from the shelter.
I think the problem with the Golden Retriever is for a long time they were pushed as the perfect family pet, So there's a overbreeding, and everybody had one. Everybody and their mother had one, and then they realize they don't want them, and they just dump them.
The program provides medical treatment in a temporary home until the dog is ready to be adopted.
Try to foster them for at least 2 weeks, because we like to get to know the temperament of the dog. Is the dog a high-energy dog? Does the dog, like to chew things? Does the dog, make sure the dog gets along well with children?
Offering the dog to the program first allows them a better chance to be adopted by an owner well suited for the breed.
There's a dog out there for you if you want one, but you need to know what you're getting into.
Faith now helps Golden Retrievers fostered by Kathleen adjust to a life in a loving home so that they too are more likely to be adopted.
Golden Retrievers are all about their people. They want their family.
Like many of us, Sarah Gray was blissfully unaware of the dangers of sun exposure until her best friend Lauren Olind found an abnormal mole and was diagnosed with stage 3 melanoma skin cancer. Because Olind detected her cancer at a later stage, she lost her battle with melanoma at the age of 27.
I just lost my best friend, and I lost my whole future. My future had to do with Lauren being in it.
In her final months, Olind imagined a nonprofit that would raise awareness of skin cancers.
She told us that she just didn't like the idea that she got this cancer and didn't know that she could even get it at 24.
Gray decided to start the Lauren Savoy Olind Foundation and has devoted her life to it since.
She gave me a major passion.
Now in its 5th year, the foundation raises money to provide shade to community playgrounds, hats to lifeguards and outdoor workers, and sunscreen to elementary schools. Olind's story inspired Episcopal High School senior Arden Koschel to write a children's book about skin protection and skin cancer awareness using the ABCs.
Hi, my name is Dottie, and join me in learning how to be sun safe.
Dottie the Dalmatian helps children recognize abnormal moles, encourages them to apply sunscreen regularly, and wear a hat when outdoors. Dermatologist at Our Lady of the Lake, Dr. Jill Fruge, helps sponsor Koshal's book and keeps Dottie's survival guide for children who come in her office.
The number of sunburns you have as a child is directly related to your risk of melanoma and skin cancer. Sunscreen and sun protection and sun avoidance is going to be important.
Lauren had to end her life at 27, but with education and early detection, no one else has to.